the stock market, meaning companies' new highs.
I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on. They're nuts. They know nothing.
An online network called Internet.
Well, it's very hip to be on the internet right now.
Welcome, my degenerates. The rest of your life starts right now on Market Mania. The no bullshit approach to all financial markets, from Bitcoin and dark nets to political betting. And of course, right here, the largest casino in the world, the U.S. stock market. I'm your host, Brian Micon, financial genius, Bitcoin class of 2011, and a poker player. Joining me are my fellow degens, Matt Glantz and Brett Ritchie. Glantz traded options on the floor of the Philly Exchange back in the day, and Brett is the head of Blitzpick. The whole thing is put together by Tony, the producer, and this is Market Mania. Tony, hell of a day in the markets. Let's get right to it. Matt Glantz, what is going on? How's the fund? What's going on in the markets?
The fund, let me see. The fund's doing well. We're up like 10% today, but that's on the backs of Friday where we got crushed. I think we're down like 14, 15%. So times were not great last week. Hopefully we'll get some back this week. Market is opened up a lot, very green today, but now we're selling off. Nasdaq's now down. Dow's still up a big amount, 300 points, but S&P's about even. Nasdaq's down. Things are getting back to where they were last week. Things are getting nervous and things are selling off and people are getting out. Brett, you seen anything on your side?
I think people are really waiting to see what happens in this election. I think that it's sort of just treading water. Obviously, there's a big sell-off. I think now it's kind of plateaued, and people are just kind of holding their breath. It might be a good time to buy to sort of get ahead, depending how you think the election's going to go. There's probably some opportunity today and tomorrow, but I don't necessarily know what that is.
The big story today, what's on everybody's mind, the election is coming tomorrow. Battleground states. Brett Ritchie, what does predicted have in the state-by-state market?
So just interesting map. It pretty much shows you where the betting odds are. No huge surprises here. You can see Texas is only 72 cents for Trump. That means Biden. I mean, Kamala is in Texas now, so I think the Dems think Texas is finally in play. You see Arizona, North Carolina are extremely close. And then Florida and PA, the two key states, are 60 cents, one for Trump, one for Biden. Matt, do you see anything in any opportunity here in any of these states to go make some money?
I think the best bet, the sharpest pick, is to bet Biden minus 180 for the overall election, and at the same time bet Florida for Trump at like minus 120 if you can get that. Because I think both are very likely to happen. Biden's very likely to win it overall, and Trump's still likely to take Florida.
And you can't lose both of those. Is that the thinking there?
Cannot lose both of those. That's impossible. Trump cannot lose Florida and win the election.
Seems unlikely.
So the battleground states here. It looks like you got, what's the 60 cent? What do you got? You got Pennsylvania
PA and Florida are both 60 cents. PA is 60 cents for Biden.
I mean, this is shaping up to the Wisconsin and Michigan, no chance, right?
I mean, Trump's plus 250 there or so in the betting markets. And again, what I saw in the tea leaves earlier was Trump is in play in Wisconsin and Michigan. Biden went over to Minnesota also to campaign there, which is that a red flag? I don't know. They're in Texas also. It's kind of hard to tell what the campaign movements mean in these last few days, but I think that is in play.
North Carolina.
Guys, let's just be real. Let's just get it out in the air so everyone understands there's no like huff and puffing. Biden's a big favorite to win the election. Trump can win any of these states. It's possible he can win all the states. It's possible he can win the election, but he's just a big dog, and that's the way it is. So we'll just have to see how it plays out.
All right. Now, gamblers, though, we've gotten some news that if you're a betting person, you pretty much like Trump. Is that right, Brett?
Yeah, DraftKings released this data today. Really interesting chart. So they're running a free contest. If you're on DraftKings, you can win some money predicting the outcome of the election. And interestingly enough, obviously in every state but Colorado, the majority of people predict Trump is going to win the election. although you can't bet on the election on DraftKings, I think this might sort of explain some of why the polls and the betting odds are so different. If gamblers just love Trump and they're going to bet on Trump anywhere in the world, you're going to have that skewed maybe from the polls, which, Matt, that's sort of the arbitrage that you've been counting on as just a strategy for betting.
Yeah, so people that are gamblers at heart are more likely to be Trump supporters. That combined with the recency bias of 2016 and all the libs getting their faces ripped off betting on Hillary. So that skews the market both the same direction, away from Biden. So prices are cheap. Minus 180, minus 190 for Biden is just dirt cheap considering all the data right now.
We'll see. And I question how accurate that data is. I do love this tweet here from Modest Proposal. This is the bull case for DKNG right here. It's basically saying if DraftKings has all these suckers on their site, they're going to clean up, and that's how they're going to make money. Micon, you've been betting the election. What do you see here?
I mean, I think that the reason for that DraftKings map has to do with these bettors are fresh from a big win in 16. So, I'll predict it too. A lot of guys don't take the money out of there. So they're all pumped up, from being right in 16. And then, people, the Dem bettors, they think I don't want to be snake bit again. So they're not really firing it.
I'm sorry. We know a lot of gamblers. I don't know a ton of them who've just kept winnings in their account for 4 years. Let's be real.
These political bettors are a different breed on predicted, though.
They busted. They did it. They bought a house. They did. I mean, no, they're not just parking that money there for 4 years. They're taking other money and coming back and doing the same thing. Sure.
That's the Matt Glantz rambling bell. So it is time to move on. Wall Street bets. They are loading up before the election. And it's a little blurry, but it basically just says, if Trump wins, if Biden wins, if it's whoever Dems win Congress, ours win Congress, it's still going to be a print fest. That's the general gist of that meme. And it just means the Fed's going to keep printing and shipping it in. And doesn't matter who's president. Basically, this meme says essentially stonks only go up in this stage because they're just propped up. And meme number 2 here. Gotta love the Wall Street bets, guys. Buying renewables in case of a Biden win and gun stocks in case of a Trump win. I'm playing both sides. Obviously, you gotta love the Always Sunny meme fest over at the Wall Street bets. And this girl dressed up as your red Robinhood account with the WSB logoed pumpkin. Got to love it. And the Elon tweet that rocked Tesla back there. Always good stuff over at r/Wall Street Bets on Reddit. You gotta love the degenerosity over there. I don't know, Brett. Goes right along with Robinhood. What do you? What do you think they're doing before the election?
You gotta have fun with this stuff, which I think Wall Street Bets does a great job at. Like, there's a lot of people on Twitter, especially, that want to take things very seriously. I think this meme here specifically does a great job of saying it almost doesn't really matter who wins this sort of beauty contest. The gears that really drive this country aren't really beholden to who the president is. They have pretty limited power. And the only caveat I would add here is if there's some sort of really disputed election or some really drawn out process to determine a winner is the only thing that would slow down what I do expect to be a pretty big stimulus in money printing.
Well, moving along, Bitcoin also going to be the focus of attention for the election, down today, sitting at a little under 13.5 or so. This is just total clickbait bullshit, just like the CNBC articles on stocks that you see sometimes. This is the Cointelegraph version for Bitcoin. Bitcoin traders caught off guard. 3 reasons why Bitcoin dropped 2% in 1 hour. 2%. BTC dumped this morning from like 13.7 to like 13.3, then bounced back to 13.5. It's a nothing burger, like every price movement pretty much. And if you scroll down this article, Tony, this is just lazy bullshit reporting. Like, oh, well, we need to have a story about the price movement. Bitcoin and all cryptos, they move because of worldwide supply demand, and that's it. More people sell than buy, it goes down. More people buy than sell, it goes up. And then everyone talks about the TA. TA's bullshit anyway. It's even more bullshit for crypto. Matt Glantz, do you believe in TA, the Bollinger Bands, the
First of
moving
all,
average?
we should explain to the viewers we're not talking about tits and ass. TA stands for technical analysis. So your headline over there is Bitcoin technical analysis BS. I assume that means bullshit. You believe bullshit. I also believe it's sort of bullshit, slightly better than the guys that look at the stars and pick stocks that way. It does give you like support and resistance levels, so you see where other people are looking to get in, but it's sort of like a herd mentality. If I was ever going to use technical analysis, it's strictly to see where other people think there's going to be support and resistance to kind of front run those orders.
It's such bullshit. The Bollinger Bands, the moving averages, you got a resistance point here at 14,000. It's giving you resistance. Brett Ritchie.
Bullshit. Yeah, I agree. You're trying to read tea leaves in the charts. The one thing I will say is if everybody else is trading on it, it can make some sense. But on average, and certainly in the long term, it is not going to be effective.
That happens. You get 200 people tweeting the crypto Twitter like, oh, it's resistance at 14,000. It's like, oh, well, better set an order to sell it at 14,000. But I mean, in reality, like if there's just a big old, I don't know, if there's civil unrest, I don't know, if there's other things that, where the US dollar starts to become weaker, the price of Bitcoin is going to go up. And, it's this weird flight to not cash, not stocks. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the election and then what happens with crypto because of the election. What do you think? Anybody, any predictions? Are we predicting anything? Chaos, Bitcoin goes up, chaos, everything goes down, including Bitcoin?
I think it'll go up because you showed that meme about they're just going to print no matter what. So it seems likely at least some of that money is going to find its way into Bitcoin.
Tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, we will see it all go down, and we'll see what happens to the markets then. Matt Glantz, NIO. This is big in the news. Some of those Wall Street Bets kitties, these Wall Street Bets kitties, some of them hit for big money on NIO.
So it's a meme stock. I've been watching this one since the beginning of the year. The thing was like $4. Now it's $33. Just a couple months ago in August, they were buying calls like I've never seen before in any stock other than Tesla. The stock was in the teens then, like 15, 16. They're just buying calls left and right. And the last few weeks, it's been gone from like 20 to 33. It's the Chinese Tesla, sort of. Just to give a comparison, Tesla's market cap's $450 billion now. NIO is like $40 billion, and as another comparison, one of your favorite stocks, Nikola, is $7 billion. But NIO is a electric car company that is based out of China, and it's China's hope to compete with Tesla. So I have a feeling that China's government is all in on NIO as far as backing them and making sure they succeed. So it's one of those must succeed, too big to fail companies, and who knows? It's probably just going to keep going.
Huge gains for NIO. Never seen a NIO before. No, don't know what that is.
They're not that good looking cars, but they do have good technology supposedly, and they just doubled their output. I think they sold 5,000 cars this quarter or this month, so they're getting big.
And isn't Elon shipping out a couple 100,000 of those joints or something?
But it's I mean, they're based in China.
Yeah, they can just scale right.
So we'll see what happens.
Start pumping those little fuckers out left and right.
Stock's hot, and the call buyers are all over the place. They don't stop. It's one of those meme stocks, Robinhood stocks, and we'll see what happens to it now.
Tony, the producer, jump on in here because we got a big one for you to handle. If I remember, Jack Ma.
All right, guys. Yeah, let's talk about this. What is this? An IPO for ants? I mean, I had to. This is going to be reportedly the largest IPO in the history of IPOs. And we were talking a little bit earlier saying that Saudi Aramco may technically be the largest company, but this will be the largest IPO. And what I think is pretty fascinating about this is that on the gray market, on the insider market, shares of this pre-IPO launch are trading at a 50% premium. So my question to you guys is, I think this company is going to be an obvious success. I don't think it's going anywhere, but are these shares too high priced to buy right now? Do you wait for a bit of a plunge in the future, buy the dip, or do you get it right now? Is it only going up? What do you think, Brett?
So I don't know. I know if you like it, I wouldn't necessarily try and buy a dip. I think a lot of people missed out on Bitcoin, for example, because they were waiting for a dip to buy that never came at various price levels. If you do like a company, if you believe in it long term, I kind of like the dollar cost averaging in strategy of just saying take a percent of your paycheck and put it toward that stock, regardless of the price. So, like, we're not professional traders, other than Matt, for the most part. People like that, it's okay to, you don't need to try and outthink the market. Just get in something you like. So that'd be my advice here.
Matt, what do they do? What is this thing? It's a $34 billion behemoth of some sort.
Yeah, they're big involved with chips, with microchips and stuff like that, but I don't really know much about them. Jack Ma is the big guy. What is he? The Alibaba guy, right?
That's right.
Did we ever figure out if this is Antminer? This is an Antminer, right? The people that made the Bitcoin
I think it's
miners?
totally different.
No,
This is different. What's interesting is that Jack Ma is being summoned by the Chinese regulators just to make sure that this huge IPO fits into the plumbing of the Chinese Communist Party's financial structure. So
what do you think that meeting's like? What do you think that meeting's like? Like, Jack,
a lot of really tight ties.
we need you to come in and talk about this fucking $35 billion you're about to get. We need to fucking, the old party needs to talk with you here, Jack.
It's a little serious. I bet they don't order a pizza. We'll leave it at that. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to point out this one's a big one and put it across your radar. You guys have a good show.
All right. After the election, I will have the mental capacity to focus on that if the place doesn't burn to the ground.
Wow.
That actually is going to bring up, I think people know, it's to do your own research. This is not investment advice. Market Mania pick of the day. In your never-ending quest to try to stack them to the top, we bring in the top experts to give you the pick of the day. No bullshit. Matt Glantz, what's the pick of the day?
I'm going long SPY at 328 today. That's the SPY is the ETF for the S&P 500. Basically, it's just a bet on the market going crazy once Biden wins tomorrow night. If Biden wins handily and there's no kind of ambiguity and Trump doesn't really cause a shitstorm, then this market's going to fly on Wednesday.
Market's gonna fly if Biden wins, according to Matt Glantz.
It'll also, in his defense, it'll also fly if Trump wins. But as long as there's a declared winner, the market's going to fly, in my opinion.
No shenanigans is what Glantz wants through the election. Brett Ritchie, what do you got? Pick of the day.
I'm going with DraftKings, DKNG. I think it's around $35 or so right now, 35.25. And I think that, as we saw with that chart, there's a bunch of fish on their site. And depending who wins the election, they might have a bunch of pumped up fish if Trump wins. That's good for DraftKings. They just signed a deal with Bryson DeChambeau right before we came on the air. He's one of the top golfers in the world. He's going to wear DraftKings on his hat. I just think they have the best product. Their main competitor, FanDuel, really just keeps stumbling. And in this kind of arms race, I do like DraftKings. So it's a good time to buy the dip. We shorted them at 60 on this show a while ago, down to $35 now, almost cut in half. The insiders sold. If you like DraftKings, it's a good time to get back in.
All right. Brett's back gambling on the Daily Fantasy Sportsbook site. Now, I'm going, it's kind of a double pick of the day. It's long Bitcoin, short Beyond Meat. It's sort of like a double donk strike here because you want to be short the worst of the worst, just in case this whole election thing is contested or whatever, for whatever reason. Tomorrow night descends the country into chaos and, the businesses will lose some value from that. And you want to be long Bitcoin. So just in case, if markets fly, Bitcoin might fly. If markets tank and then that melts away into nothingness, then, well, you got your Bitcoin. And then, that might be the only thing you have left. It's a double reverse, extra, super like sideways hexagonal hedge. And it's hard to explain, but it's 4D chess when you do both at the same time. All right. Thank you all for watching. We do appreciate all of your support here at Market Mania. Tomorrow night, we got something special for you. Keep the tweeter unlocked to check that. And it's November 1st. Election is tomorrow. And tension is in the air. But we can think of the words of Killer Mike. from RTJ that always rang true with me. And I quote, "'Cause I would rather be in the jungle with the savages. It's kill or be killed, and I'm working with the averages." Like and subscribe Market Mania on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at The Market Mania Show. Nope, just Market Mania Show. We'll see you tomorrow for the election, if there is a tomorrow. But for now, it's lights out.
Come on, I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. Come on, I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. Come on, I never sleep if I don't have. I never sleep. Come on, I never sleep if I don't have my medicine.
Time to right the wrong. So your hands in the air if you like the song. If you're going over there, take it twice as long. Last time ain't talking about Tylenol. Oh, I bet you'd like to know. You can come around the way if you're trying to go. If you want to switch lanes for a pot of gold or a domino, out of control. The usual. Get mad cause I'm looking at your girl.
Switch it up.
I do it so much louder than everything you've heard. Everybody heard, got the word that the world wasn't turning. Act like you're in a jury of how of a turning where I would turn it. Can't lie like this is to be burning. Don't act like you're in a daze. I imagine should've looked the other way. Couldn't clear space in my mind, was afraid of the time. Strobe light like in the moonlight. I'm in the mood right now, how about tonight? My interview's tight now.